guys, my name is Zach Asher and this is Elliot Patrick. I've been meaning to make this video for a while. It's basically going to be Nutrition 101, so if you are serious about achieving your health and fitness goals, I suggest you watch this video in its entirety and strap yourself in because we're about to drop a knowledge bomb on your ass. So without further ado, we're going to break this video down into 5 major sections. It's going to be in levels of importance basically. So the first topic that we're going to talk about, and we consider to be the most important, and the majority of the fitness industry basically considers this to be the most important topic as well. So the first thing you should be concerned with is your energy in versus energy out, basically calories in versus calories out. So when you are wanting to lose or gain weight, you basically need to find out 2 things. Your basal metabolic rate, which is the amount of calories your body needs to basically sustain, basically live at a sedentary state. This is if you're just like sitting on a couch doing absolutely nothing. If you look at the first link in the description, there will be a calculator where you can go and calculate your own basal metabolic rate. It asks for your height, weight, age, and gender. So once you've found this out, then you take into account something called your activity factor, which we'll show on screen now. So once you know your activity factor, you times this by your basal metabolic rate, and this gives you your maintenance calories. So your maintenance calories are what you need to maintain your current weight. So once you know your maintenance calories, basically if you want to gain weight, you eat more calories than your maintenance. If you want to lose weight, you eat less calories than your maintenance. And obviously the further you get from your maintenance, the quicker you'll gain or lose weight. But you, again, with everything in moderation, you don't want to go too far aside. So I generally suggest if you're losing weight to be in about a 500 deficit, and then again if you want to gain weight, you'd be in about a 500 surplus. Any more than that and you'll just start to gain excess fat. And then again, if you are dieting and trying to lose weight, if you go any less than 500 calories, below 500 less than your maintenance, you'll start to lose quite a bit of muscle. So you want to make dieting basically as long as possible to get the best results. If you crash diet, you'll lose a lot of weight, but you'll also lose a lot of muscle. And if you try and bulk too quickly, you'll put on weight, but a lot of it is going to be fat. So the second part of this video is about macronutrients, and we consider this to be the second most important thing. There are technically 4 macronutrients. The first is protein, and then protein. I'm joking.
Protein.
There's protein, which has 4 calories per gram, and basically protein helps increase protein synthesis in your body, and we generally recommend that you eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if I weigh 170 pounds, I want to eat 170 grams of protein a day. This is a general benchmark. We normally try and eat a bit more, but the general range, the lowest I would ever recommend going is about 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight, and then you could go up to 2 grams if you really want to. That's probably on the higher end.
Yeah.
And then the second macronutrient is not, again, protein, but it is carbohydrates, which has 4 calories per gram, which is the same as protein. And basically your body uses carbohydrates as fuel. Your brain needs a certain amount of carbohydrates to function properly. And we generally recommend that you have 30 to 50% of your calories coming from carbohydrates. The third macronutrient is fat, which has 9 calories per gram, so it's almost twice as calorie dense as protein or carbohydrates. Fat is often seen as this negative thing, like you shouldn't eat a lot of fat, but your body actually needs a certain amount of fat for hormone production, especially if you're a male, you need it for testosterone production. But we would generally not recommend eating more than 30% of your calories coming from fat. This is so it doesn't take away from carbs and protein, which is what you also need for your health and fitness goals. Then there is a fourth macronutrient that not a lot of people know about, which is alcohol, which has 7 calories per gram. Obviously, if you want to make this a lifestyle, you want to include things in moderation. We don't completely cut out alcohol, but obviously we drink less than most people. Alcohol is very dense in calories, so if you go on a night out and you drink a lot, you are probably going to be taking in quite a lot of calories. But also, alcohol lowers your body's protein synthesis, so you don't produce muscle as well as if you weren't drinking alcohol. So again, which is why we recommend having it in moderation. Alright, the third part of this video is, I put it 2 or 3. Did you even count, bro?
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
The third part of this video is micronutrients, which we consider to be the third most important thing. And this refers to your vitamins and minerals, which comes from eating a lot of fruit and veg and just having a balanced and varied diet. You don't want to be eating too much of the same thing. We do recommend having a multivitamin. It's not necessary, but it can help ensure you don't develop any deficiencies. And you want your body functioning at an optimal level to achieve your health and fitness goals as conveniently as possible. Alright, the fourth part of this video is meal timing, basically. And this refers to like the times of day you have certain macronutrients in meals and everything. I think a lot of emphasis is placed on meal timing, where it's not actually as important as people think it is. Where I'm sure you've heard myths like no carbs after 6, or you should be eating 6 to 8 meals a day. Technically it can help, but it's not as important as people actually think it is. Like you could technically have 1 meal a day with all of your macronutrients in it, and you would still make progress. Albeit you probably wouldn't make as much progress as someone that balanced their meals out through the day, but I'm saying like it is possible, and people often think it's not. So it ultimately comes down to what's convenient for you. I personally have probably 4 solid meals a day, and then like maybe a few snacks and a protein shake. Some people like having 10 meals a day. I personally don't have time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And then I know some people that have like 2 meals a day. Like you can still make progress on this. So don't stress it too much if you think you should be eating a certain amount of meals a day. Just make sure you get the right macronutrients in. Which is why this whole video has been laid out in like levels of importance, and meal timing is 4th. So as long as you've got like the energy in versus energy out, which is the most important, then macronutrients, then micronutrients, and then you should worry about meal timing. So don't start skipping ahead and worrying about something that you shouldn't if you haven't got the previous step in check. Alright, the last and 5th part of this video is about supplements. It's funny because especially when people start lifting and getting into the health and fitness lifestyle, supplements are often seen as this magical thing which are going to make or break you. And this is all mainly down to marketing from companies. Obviously they're profit driven, they want to make money from supplements, so they market them as these things that you need. And I personally made this mistake where I wasn't really concerned with my diet when I first started getting into lifting, and I was just looking for like the magical supplement that was going to give me my dream physique.
They don't exist.
No, there is no such thing as a magical supplement. When I started taking nutrition seriously, i.e. the 4 previous steps, that's when I actually started to see good results. Like,
For sure.
supplements, they can help, but they should only be bought if you can actually afford them. Like, don't start prioritizing supplements over your diet. Related to supplements, I don't actually consider whey protein as a supplement. Some people might disagree, but I don't consider whey protein as a supplement. I just think of it as a convenient protein source, just like eating chicken or beef or whatever. So yeah, in that sense, I don't consider it your typical supplement. Right, the supplements I would personally recommend in like levels of importance. And for this sake, I'm going to classify whey protein as a supplement because that's generally what it's marketed as. So I would include that as probably the most important supplement. It's just convenient. It helps you hit your protein targets.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you consume it after training, it digests really quickly, so it gets into your system and helps recover after a workout.
Yeah.
The second most important supplement to me is probably creatine. It's probably one of the most researched supplements out there. Basically what it does is helps give your muscles more energy so you can lift more weight or do more reps on certain weight. I'm not going to get too into the science behind that, but yeah, it basically provides your muscles with energy. Then the third most important supplement for me probably is, I'd probably say a pre-workout, because some days you just feel really drained, you don't feel like working out and you need that bit of a boost. So I find pre-workouts can help, but you should not rely on them for a good workout, and I recommend cycling pre-workouts, so using them for say like 1 month on and then taking a month off and then starting again. You shouldn't ever become reliant on something. I mean, you can just have a coffee or something before, because most of the pre-workouts these days rely heavily on caffeine. Some of them do have other ingredients which can be beneficial, so just make sure you do your research and pick the right ones that don't have too many like artificial crap in them. The fourth most important is probably BCAAs, which is branched chain amino acids. It's basically the building blocks of protein. It can help when you diet. I only really use BCAAs when I'm dieting.
Yeah, so.
Particularly during a workout to prevent my body from going into a catabolic state. It just helps preserve muscle, so your body doesn't start breaking down your muscles to use as energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are probably the only four I'd really recommend. All the others out there are mainly just a waste of money, to be completely honest.
The only thing I'd add to that is we do see a lot of people that are either vegan or vegetarian that, because they don't eat meats or dairy or whatever, they don't get some of the minerals and vitamins that you'd usually get. So like meat, has iron in, or potassium from bananas. I mean, like obviously that's what vegans, vegetarians would eat, and they'd have plenty of that in their diet. But then when you don't eat meat, you don't get iron in your diet. You get iron deficiencies. So supplements, whether you're vegan or vegetarian, supplements like that might be useful to them. So yeah, definitely go by what do you need and what are your goals, and try and work around that, because supplements can be expensive, and we definitely take real food over supplements any day. So,
yeah, some final points about this is that we generally recommend when people ask us for advice. I'm sure you may have heard of this term as like if it fits your macros training. I prefer flexible dieting, which refers to tracking your macronutrients, and this requires like weighing your food and using a calorie counter. If you're interested in doing that, like tracking your macros and stuff, there'll be a link in the description to a video explaining how to do that. But just to summarize, tracking macros is much better than sticking to like a specific meal plan, because you can change it to what suits you. You don't have to eat exactly what someone tells you. Often that can get very boring, and people don't tend to stick to that kind of diet for very long. Whereas if you have certain macronutrient targets to hit, and you can play around with foods and basically customize it to whatever suits you, and that basically makes it sustainable. Like you can do that indefinitely. We always recommend combining a healthy diet with an active lifestyle. So we encourage you to join the gym or take up some sort of activity. We don't recommend that you just have a healthy diet and don't do any exercise. So on that note, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Check you in the next video. Peace.